guys. I'm excited. So we're going to do, I'm doing both in IG Stories. I'm on Facebook Live also, so thank you guys for coming and joining us. We are going to talk about how to build your dream life and how average people can create extraordinary wealth. So for those of you who are following along on Facebook Live at Official Jahan Thomas, hi there, guys. If you're on Official Jahan Thomas, you'll be able to see the slides that we are following. But don't worry, we're going to be talking all of it out anyway. I'm here with my friends. I have Dee here, Christina, and Jen, and of course baby. So you might hear a little bit of noise in the background. That's only because we have a baby here. And why do we have a baby while we're doing this? Well, we're moms. A lot of us are moms. We have our kids, and that's part of what we're going to show here, right? That you could do anything.
Absolutely.
You could do anything, kids or not. I used to do everything with my kids there because that's just the way it is. That's the way it goes. So, all right, so I got 2 questions for you guys here. What are 5 things you would do, have, or become? And please answer us live also. What are 5 things you would do, have, or become if money were no object? Or another way to say it would be, what if your yearly income became your monthly income? What would you do? Do you guys ever think about that? I know you have.
Yes.
I know you have. Yeah. So we talk about it all the time. So what would you do? Like what? I think that people always have this like fantasy about being more financially secure, but they don't know what they would really do. Yeah. So it remains a fantasy. It never grounds itself. So what would you guys do?
I definitely would travel more. That's one of the things.
That's the number 1 answer. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That is the number 1 answer. What about you guys online? I want to hear that. Hard to comprehend that, right? I hear you, Brian. It's hard. I remember a time, just so everybody knows for me and my background, there was a time I was eligible for welfare, right? As you guys know. I was eligible for welfare. So I'm really the ones that went from like, what is it like when you have nothing and how do you build everything on your own? How do you become self-made? And that's exactly what I did and what we teach now. So travel being your number 1. What else?
Well, for me, it's really like having peace of mind. If I think about having that sort of income, it's really about not stressing about finances ever again in life. Like, that's my main thing.
So that was my primary, too, as you know. Peace of mind was my primary.
Yeah.
Right, that was it. I mean, travel sounded wonderful. I do travel more now, but in the beginning, it had nothing to do with that. It was all about peace of mind for me. You know, and then you build off of that. Because I think for me, I had to build up belief. Yeah. Right? So even though I wanted to think big and I could fantasize a little bit big, it was more like I was still in a very small mode. Right? What about you two?
I think it's more about knowing that you're able to take control of your life and do whatever it is you want to do. So you have nothing or no one holding you back.
Well, and that's important too. We have someone on here talking about how they want to buy homes for those in need, do missionary work, all that stuff, being a mission instead of always giving to another. Support. You know, a lot of people are talking about being more philanthropic, and we as a family are very philanthropic because that was important to us as well.
Yes,
definitely.
Right? I felt like the travel and all the things that people would consider like luxury, that comes second. I mean, you can use it first, but it's there's a point where you move away from success and move into significance. You know?
I like that.
Yeah. And for me, it felt more like that, like moving away from the idea of what success was, even though we're talking about it here because a lot of people probably have ideas about success, but it really was more about how can you significantly impact this world? How can you make a difference? How do you leave a legacy? How do I teach my kids?
Right.
How to carry forward in this world.
And you know what? You can't do that unless your basic needs are met, right? Like you have to have that down first. And beyond that, and then you can then go ahead and give back, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we start small and giving back in the ways that we can, but to be able to do it in bigger ways is really, you know, the goal that a lot of us are looking to achieve.
Yeah, a lot of people here are talking about time freedom. Someone said all the Ningxia. Listen, I hear you on that. We go through a lot of bottles. All the nitro. We go through a lot of Ningxia here. A lot of nitro also. We go through in this house. So you can see that there's a lot of different things that you would do or feel, you know, sometimes money becomes a conversation that people are almost afraid to discuss. And I think it should be a very open conversation.
Yeah.
and your idea of success, because for everybody it'll be a little bit different. But I've had people come to me and say, well, I don't really care about money, and it doesn't matter to me, that's not what's important to me. I said, really? Then you should have no problem making $1 million and giving it away.
Amen.
And so we know that when somebody says, well, that's not what's important to me, what they're really saying is that I'm afraid, I don't know how to do it, what would
I
it
don't
look
feel like
like?
it
But they've also bought into money is the root of all evil.
Which is such a shame.
It's such a shame because yes, people do go that way.
Well, listen,
but
bad money with people do bad things, and good money, good people with money do good things. And
Yes.
Harry Young said that, right? So we need more good people with money. So believe it or not, there's only 2 ways for average people to get their dream life. 2 ways. And that's to be your own boss and through leverage. That's it. Just 2 ways. So I'm going to use the example of this to explain. People are more familiar with like a real estate agent versus a real estate broker. Okay, so the real estate agent is really the one that you think, what you think of when it comes to like buying or selling your home, right?
Yes.
They're the ones that do all the, like the listings and the open houses and all the paperwork and all that stuff, right? The legwork, right? So they do all that. And then you have, and then when they're all said and done, they take about half of it, whatever it is, whatever their commissions would be, and they give it to the broker. What did the broker do?
Leverage.
Well, the broker has leverage. What the broker did was just say, wow, this is really smart. I am going to have a whole bunch of agents
doing all the work,
doing all this work, and I'm going to take the commission. So you're right, though, Christina. What the broker has that the real estate agent doesn't have is leverage. And leverage is like super, super key here. So I wanted to look at what offers the best leverage for average people, but not just the leverage, but also gives you time and freedom, time freedom and money freedom, right? So what are the things? So we looked at traditional retail. Most people, there's no way. They can't afford, the startup costs are so much, the overhead is so much, it doesn't tend to give you a lot of freedom. And the same thing could be with online retail, right? It's just, there's so much upfront costs that are involved, right? There's so many a lot of overhead costs, and for the average, and this is for average people. The average person can't do that. Even when you get into investments, real estate, commodity, stock market, you can start out slow and build over time. I absolutely recommend that. But for most people, it can't make such an enormous difference in their life right away. Right? Even service, medical, commercial, residential, financial. I know a lot of doctors, lawyers, financial advisors, and investment bankers. Listen, they all make a shit ton of money. They really do. They make a lot of money. They have the houses, they have the cars, they have the boats, they have all that stuff. But, one day, I can't wait to see them actually use that stuff.
And enjoy
it.
Right, your time is...
Right?
They
don't have the time and freedom. So then we looked at franchises. Now, franchise could be a storefront, it could be a service, or it could be networked. Be any of that. So franchises tend to have certain startup costs, can be a big range of startup costs and overhead also, just like any traditional business. But we looked at one in particular. There's only one profession that could give you the opportunity to be your own boss and give you the leverage with little to no risk. And this is why we mean, how does average people create extraordinary wealth? How can they do that? Low startup, low overhead, tax, still get all the same tax advantages, training, obviously, right?
Yeah.
You have extraordinary income potential, and the only profession that I have been able to find to do that is the network marketing profession. Did you know that?
Yes.
I didn't know that. When I first heard that, I
know it now.
No,
Yeah, I did not know that.
But
I had learned that somewhere, and I was really surprised to hear that. I didn't know that. So
Well, you know what I didn't know? Because I was at one point looking for avenues for residual income, and that's limited. So I didn't know that network marketing was an avenue for that.
right,
So
yeah,
and a really good one.
a really, really, really good
no,
one.
but there's always because there's always been somebody telling you that it's a scam or something.
So here's the really funny thing about it, and what I use as an example. So I am someone who happens to be pretty well educated, right? I have 2 degrees. I have several certifications. I did all the traditional. I did very well. I went to great universities. I did all the traditional stuff, and it was after that I was eligible for welfare. After that.
Yeah.
So that whole system that I was taught didn't work for me. Now, I recovered from it. And I did recover through my degrees, through what I was trained to do. I did. But I didn't, it wasn't a smooth sailing. I was kind of under the impression it'd be more smooth sailing, that you just do these things and then, here's where you end up. And that was not the case for me. And I thought about it. I'm like, if I were to put this kind of effort into what I'm doing, into something that brought me residual and passive income, which we're going to talk about, if I was able to do something like that, why wouldn't I put effort there that then it's more guaranteed per se, right?
Yeah, right.
More guaranteed that it's not, I'm in control of it, in other words. That's what I mean to say. It's not guaranteed, it's that I'm in control of it. So, like, why wouldn't we do that? I want you to look at this. So I actually went and pulled out some typical franchises here. So here, for those who aren't following along, here, in Young Living, for instance, a franchise startup is $45 to $170 around there, depending how you decide to start up. Whereas I found Fit Body Bootcamp, $35,000. McDonald's was, it's listed here, $750,000. That's cash. It's actually more than that now.
Wow. I was going to say
1.7 million for IHOP. Look at the minimum monthly overhead, and of course, this depends where you live. I put 10 to 50,000. I know some people's overheads are 100 to 200,000 a month. We're talking about.
Crazy.
Whereas Young Living's is $100
$100 a month.
$100 a month.
That's your overhead.
But look at the income potential. This was the most interesting. So I want you to look right here.
$100 a month, and you're still getting something.
Stuff for
with
you,
that
right?
$100. So it's not just
To help your quality of life.
Throw it away.
yes. This is it. It's
Yeah.
not just thrown away.
Yeah.
It's actual. Like you get
Right.
products.
So look at the difference here. So you have a low startup, you have a low, and these are showing it versus other typical franchises, right? So you have a low startup, you have a low overhead, and yet the income potential is the same for all of them.
This is a no-brainer.
Okay, we're gonna get Jen riled up now. She's like, listen to me.
No-brainer.
Okay, and you must know something about Jen. You're seeing her sitting here as a mom, and she's really awesome. But Jen went to an Ivy League school. So Jen, how's that? How's that going? I have to bring that up. My wonderfully brilliant friend over here is now looking for, freedom,
Yeah, absolutely.
which your Ivy League school didn't give you.
No, it didn't.
It
It gave me a lot of debt.
gave you a lot of debt, right? And there's certainly no offense to Ivy League schools because
No.
we love that. We
And
love
I
that.
love what I do, and I love my degree. But if you can expand more, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
If you can have more time, why wouldn't you? If you can have more freedom, why wouldn't you?
yes. I want
It's
to.
a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer for me.
It's a no-brainer. I totally agree. Okay. So, here's how it works. Your income in network marketing is based on leverage and exponential growth, meaning it's not linear growth, which a lot of people sort of want and expect because you're used to trading time for dollars. It's exponential growth. So, meaning you start out spending, a lot of time not trading for dollars, right? Really building up your business, and then you get that boom. So if you imagine yourself here telling a handful of friends, family, finding people, whatever. Now, in the information that I've already told you, and there's over 7 billion people in this world, do you think a handful of people might be interested in this information?
Of course.
Right? What if it took you 20 years to find that handful of people?
So what?
So what? Right?
So
Doesn't matter. Right? It really makes sense, and that's the answer. So what?
So
Okay?
what if it takes 20 years and you're helping people live a healthier
Right,
life?
a better life, all the way around, all along
Yeah.
the way, right? So, okay, so now those handful of people then say, hey, well, listen, I know there's other people that might be interested in this too. If nothing else, they want to live better health-wise, right?
Right.
If nothing else, so we have a lot of people that want to live better in a more healthy life, a more vibrant life, better quality of life, physically, mentally, emotionally, all that. And then there's people that say, financially, I want that peace of mind and that time freedom and all that. You think of the 7 billion people in this world, over 7, you might find people that are interested in that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, so that's how it works. And you gain more leverage and income as your network grows without any additional effort from you. So I want to show you how sales versus networking, because some people say, I'm not good at sales. I bet you every single one of you are good at sales for things that are important to you. That toilet paper that you really dig, you could probably sell the shit out of it. Right?
No pun intended.
No pun intended. You are. But I want you to still have an understanding about sales versus networking. So for those who are on IG Stories, you're not seeing how I'm going to try to explain it the best that I could possibly explain it. Obviously, those following on my personal Facebook Live, you'll be able to see this chart. So if you were to refer 6 people, let's say you refer them, these numbers are not accurate. I'm using it for illustration, okay?
Okay.
But let's say you were to refer 6 people to Young Living. They each made an average order of about 100. That would be 600 that goes to the company, right?
Okay.
And let's say your commissions on that were around 10%. Again, these are not Young Living numbers. I'm just trying to illustrate a point here. Okay, let's say it was 10%, you'd get $60, right? Now you could retire and have that time freedom that you were talking about, right? You could do all this things, because there you go, you just got 6 months, right? You be in another country and that all works, right? Okay, so if you were in sales, that top line, that's what we're talking about, those 6 people, that would be sales, right? So if you wanted to increase that $60, those commissions, what would you have to do? You'd either have to sell more product or get more people.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Right? Now, what if those 6 people referred 5 people each? Right? That would be 30 people. That would be, they each made up about 100 PV order. That would be $3,000 plus the 600, so $3,600. And of that, you'd make about $360, right? So now you're getting, for some people, that's a car payment, all that. What if those people then each referred 4, and so on and so forth, right? What do we notice about this? What do we notice about the referrals? 6 referring 5, referring 4, referring 3. What do we notice about that?
It's getting
lower.
It's getting worse, right? As people are referring people to it, they're getting less effective. It's getting less effective. They're not listening to you. They haven't done the training. They're not doing whatever. They don't feel confident.
Right.
Whatever the reason being, right? It's becoming less effective, okay? But what's happening to the commissions? 60, 300, 1,200, 3,600.
It's still going up.
It's still going up. That's what exponential growth is. You see what I'm saying here? It doesn't matter. That's why the network never has to look perfect, as people say. It doesn't have to. It's just networking out there. You're networking anyway. Look at the typical or the traditional employer-employee relationship. The CEO is at the top making the most money. Does anybody disagree with this?
No, absolutely not.
How could you, right? So the CEO is at the top making the most money. Then you have your presidents, which make a little bit less, your vice presidents, managers, and then mostly general workers that make the least amount of money, right? That's a typical, that structure, that triangle structure, that's a typical relationship, and it's really it's actually a good hierarchy. So but it's in a traditional way.
Network pyramid.
Network marketing, right? Ironically, network marketing though is not traditional, right? So in network marketing, you are your own business owner. Everybody's at the top. You decide your income, raises, bonuses. It's all dependent on you. It's not dependent on where you are in the network or when you enrolled. It's dependent on what you want to do and how much you want to make. You are in total control of that, which I love. It looks more like trade. It's a little more organic, right? Where the corporate headquarters provide your foundational support or your roots. Do you know what we mean by that? What does that mean by corporate doing your foundational support? As opposed to a traditional business.
Well, they do the customer service.
Yeah.
They do the product.
They have the stock.
They do the product.
They make the product. They ship it out.
You don't have to invent anything.
You don't have to invent anything. You don't have to put that investment in. You have to set it. Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're making everything. It simplifies it. They're making everything in there. And it allows your business to grow with unlimited expansion potential. Your job is to create this network, work with people, let everybody know it exists, referral marketing, support them, teach them, help them to people.
Guide them to it.
Guide them, teach them about it, let them know.
I love the word educate.
Educate.
What we do is educate people
Absolutely.
about the products we have.
Bring hope. Right? Wouldn't that be another thing? Bring hope where a lot of people don't feel they have any.
Absolutely.
That's our job here. And then corporate side of it is they do everything else. They make the product. They send out the product. They do the customer service.
They hold the stock.
They hold the stock. They take your, that's what they do.
Answer the questions.
Correct.
They do.
Correct.
Any questions you have, here, go pull corporate. Go pull.
Network marketing has been featured. I mean, it's almost like ridiculous to talk about it anymore. It's been featured in every major publication. Everybody has talked about it. Warren Buffett, who used to be the richest, he's no longer the richest man. He used to be the richest man. He actually owns a network marketing company, Warren Buffett. But this has been all over the place. But knowing this, would you be willing to trade 7 to 10 hours per week on a side hustle for 2 to 5 years, if you like to build your dreams? If I can show you how to do it, would you? Is it worth it? If it for 7 to 10 hours a week, would it be worth it on a side hustle?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do you know that I built up to where I am today, which is one of the top in the company and around the world? Do you know that I built up while working full time in another job? I've never worked full time in this job ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And that's
ever.
important because a lot of people are going to say, well, it's 7 to 10, it's not possible, right?
Right.
It's not possible for me to do this while I'm working or while I have kids or while this or while
I did it.
while that.
I had 2 babies I have 3 kids. So I had 2 babies during the time that I built this. I've always worked full time in another career. I still do. In another career, right? And have been able to build this up. It really, when we say this could be a side hustle, it legitimately could be a side hustle. But I will tell you, I don't get distracted very easily. I'm very efficient in what I do, and I train very efficiently.
Yeah.
So that's the piece of it. So how about the 40-40-40 plan?
That doesn't work.
We all know that.
Right? So the 40-40-40 plan is working 40 hours a week for 40 years to then live off about 40% of what you could live off of to begin with. Now think about that. A lot of people are dependent on their Social Security afterwards, right? Or pensions or whatever, which is a fraction. Like if you are having trouble surviving now, what in the world makes you think when you hit that age, 65, 69 and a half, whatever it is when your stuff kicks in, what makes you think you're going to be living this grand
luxurious life
if you haven't seriously planned? And for those who have seriously planned, I just want to remind you of 2008, right?
Right.
So everyone who
Not
had all their
stable
stuff in the stock market and all this
Not
stuff,
enough security.
not
Even
enough
in New York
security.
alone.
Right. How many people move out of where we live? We live in one of the most expensive
Yeah.
places in the U.S. And how many people move out of here when they hit retirement age?
Well, that's why Florida's filled with New Yorkers.
Yeah, that's why Florida's filled with New
You
York.
know what another good thing to think about is quality of life. So I talk to a lot of people and I happen to be friends with a lot of people that work in school districts. And, one of my friends, we were talking the other day, and she's like, she's miserable at her job, and, she's educated, she's a school psychologist, and we were talking about quality of life, and she's saying, well, when I retire, I'll have 60% of my income, which is pretty good, right? So I said, well, how many years do you have left? She's like, 20. And I'm like, well, how are you going to feel? You're already miserable now. How are you going to feel in 20 years from now?
Wow.
And she was like, yeah, this is not going to work for me.
Well, then what's the guarantee? I mean, not to take it to a negative, but what's the guarantee you have that 20 years?
It's true.
When every day is a gift, we don't know what
Sure.
happens.
It's
So
true.
I want to take advantage of every second of every day.
Absolutely.
And not look forward to my retirement. That, to me, is really sad.
Or to
Yeah,
even rely, or
I want to enjoy it now.
to even
Yeah.
rely on a company. I mean, do you know how many people I know that's been in companies for 10, 15, maybe even longer than that, 20 years? One of my uncles included, and he just got laid off years ago out of nowhere.
And that's what
Yeah,
happened.
it's
That's
like-
what happened
it's
even
just-
in 2008. That's
Yeah.
exactly the type of
Yeah.
thing that happened. Now, here's the thing. If you were to look at this, and we're looking for those on IG stories and all that, we're looking at a bell curve here. So, let's say you're on this ladder towards your dream, and you're in the center of that bell curve. Do you know that a lot of people think when they start out at their jobs, they think they're on that curve. They believe that's where they are, and that's how they're growing. And, unfortunately, their typical job is usually somewhere on the side where it's going to hit a cap, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them become aware of this. And a lot of them don't. Now, when you're just starting to build your dreams, they might be on close to the top of their ladder, and you're on the bottom of your ladder, but your ladder goes much higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're on the top of that looking down at you going, what are you doing? Are you crazy? You only have 20 years left. If you put in those 20 years, you'll get this great pension. If you do this, if you do that, you're going to have, in other words, you're going to have these toxic people around you that probably really do care for you, but are really afraid of their own shit. So they don't they have to project.
They're not going to encourage you.
Yeah, so they have to project, and they think you're crazy. And here they are in their typical job, and they're hitting their head because they can't. Not everyone's going to become the CEO. Not everyone wants to become the CEO, but a lot of people who want to go further in their lives think they're on a track that they're really not on, right? So they think that they're going to do this, and they're really not going to do it. And what do? They have an awareness of it, but then they jump to their other typical job.
Yeah, they have to get a
Yes.
better job.
They make more of a lateral move, and then they just bounce back and forth, right, on those really small ladders that don't really take them anywhere, instead of really going after the thing that brings them to their dreams. Now, let me tell you about the thing that brings you to your dreams. It's full of fears, right? It challenges who you are. You have to grow into being that person, right?
Personal
You get
development.
rejection, you get criticism, you get ridicule. Your circle changes.
Big
Because you'll be surprised the people who you thought were on your side, not so much.
Family included.
Yeah, they may not be on your side.
That's
So
for sure.
it really, that's where the risk comes in. There's more of an emotional, it's not a financial risk, but there's more of an emotional risk that comes
Sure.
along with really busting out and doing things on your own and taking that chance on yourself, and then other people seeing you take that chance, right? There's that emotional risk. Oh, we love you, Kate. So, anyway, look at the network marketing profession. There's already almost, 19 million people. I think this is in the U.S. alone, right? There's almost 19 million people. Do you know what makes up the greatest percentage? You ready for this number? 37% of them are millennials.
Totally believe it.
It's a $35 billion industry. and 37% are millennials.
But that makes sense to me because they're thinking outside of the box as far as looking at traditional worker bee jobs and saying that's not what they want.
That's not what they want,
Well,
right?
we see too. We look at our parents, and maybe more your generation. We see what you guys were brought up doing.
What
Isn't
kind of
working.
generation are you talking about?
It's true.
I'm just
You
kidding.
It's true. What you guys brought up with isn't necessarily working the way we want it to work. We don't want.
You know what?
We don't want that structure.
It worked at a time, but there's
We
so
don't
much
want that.
more. And you know what I find about millennials? You are very philanthropic. You're you're more service based,
Yeah.
more purpose driven.
Right.
I would say. I know I have a lot of purpose, but we were almost taught okay, have your purpose, but the purpose comes secondary. Whereas for you guys, your purpose is primary. Does that sound accurate? Does that sound accurate, Katie, too?
100%.
It becomes more primary.
Yeah.
As it should.
Yep.
As it should. I love that. We need you guys, right? And most of the growth, by the way, that's happening is happening within wellness and services. Direct selling provides flexible entrepreneurial opportunities to all ages. That came from the Direct Selling Association. Isn't that awesome? I love that. I just like the word flexible, by the way.
Yeah.
That fits in my lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's approved.
So what would you look for? People don't know what to look for, and of course there's people that are out there going, no, buy my latest and greatest cream and my pills and my this and my that, and there's a lot of that out there, and it's okay and it's unfortunate, right? Because very few approach it as a business, and then they put it out there as a little hobby or whatever, and it doesn't get the clout that it should.
Right.
If people understood it in the way that we understand it, people would go through brick walls to get it.
Right.
But when you have someone going, oh, no, you don't have to do this, but just try my little cream, or try my little this, or try my little, and they're so diminishing to what they have.
But they're not running it like an actual
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't
business.
even run it like a business, and it comes across that way, and it's really a shame, right? It's really, really a shame.
Yeah.
Here, but what you're going to look for in a network marketing business is any network marketing business, extremely strong, stable company with longevity, okay, and has a consumable product that works. There's too many companies out there that jump into our startup. We're going to throw all this money at you, and we're going to do, and these companies fall apart. Right? This is not the company you want to go for. One, at least from my perspective in business, you want to just have, something, a consumable product that works, a strong, stable company. That's what you're looking for. You want something with residual passive income. They pretty much all do that.
Yeah.
Business that could be sold for profit, just like any other business. Some businesses and some companies, like in the company we work with, you could sell your business. I mean, it's crazy, but you could sell your business if you wanted to, just like any other business. Others you can't. Pass down to next of kin. I know this was primary for me and primary for you as well.
Yeah.
Our fathers died, who were the primary breadwinners. They died when we were young. We're not sisters, but each has a similar story.
Yeah.
And life as I knew it, as I know you too, completely changed. I wanted something that I could pass along to my kids, and I can. I know, if not, God forbid something happens to me and my husband, it's tragic enough for the kids.
Right.
At least I know they won't be in financial shambles.
Right.
They are now set up for the rest of their lives. So that's what's really important to us as well. So this could be passed down to next of kin. It has all small business tax advantages. If you don't know this, I'm going to say this as clearly as possible for those who are very upset about taxes and tax laws and all that. The tax laws in the United States, I don't know about other countries, but I will tell you right now, the tax laws in the United States are in favor of those who own their own businesses. That's just it.
Yeah.
So if you want to take advantage of the tax laws, form your own business.
Yes, please.
That's it. That's all there is to it. It's
It
not
doesn't
changing.
take much to form your own business.
Nothing.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about here, right? You get to create its value. There's no limits. No boss caps your earnings. It's your business. Like we talked about before, employee headaches, customer service headaches, all that stuff goes with the corporate headquarters. The startup costs are low. The low recurring monthly overhead. You have unlimited revenue streams. As many people as you help is another revenue stream, right? We talk about that too when we talk about success training, is multiple revenue streams. And of course, you get all the training, takes the guesswork out of what to do and when to do it. So, how does it work? How does it work exactly?
Tell us.
Are you now the
People to the
students?
company. You refer people to the company.
You refer people to the company, yeah.
And you get paid for those referrals.
That's it.
Yep. And everybody that, or anybody that you refer to the company, whoever they refer, you also get paid for those referrals.
Yeah.
And so on and so on.
And so
And
on.
it keeps going on and on.
Absolutely. So you get paid for everyone you refer every time they make an order through 5 different levels, and every time anyone in the 5 levels orders. If you go to look at that, you don't have to worry about this. But as long as you're an active ordering member, the point is you get paid for the network. Right?
Yes.
So everybody in your network, you
You're
start
building
getting paid.
a network.
You're building a network. And what do we mean? Let's say you referred Mary, and Mary referred Kim. And Kim referred Alice, and Alice referred Mike, and Mike referred Sam, right? Those would be what we mean by 5 levels. But here's the cool thing. You can have as many Marys as you want. They can have as many Kims as you want. You can have whatever. So you can just go as wide as you want. It doesn't really make a difference here. And how do you get paid? Well, there's many different revenue streams. But they fall within 2 basic categories, passive income and bonuses and shares. And the passive income is money you get whether you work or not, and that's your long-term income, but that really starts from day 1. Okay, and then your bonuses and shares could be one-time or monthly. Usually requires direct action to get, but it also starts from day 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's some passive income, examples like pensions, retirement accounts. So there's different ideas of passive income or different ways to get passive income, including your the interest on your savings account, which is what 0.0000001%. Like what is that now? Like something totally ridiculous, right?
Not
here,
worth doing.
Right. So just as an example, in order to make $1,000 per month in passive income on just your savings account, you need to have $1.2 million in cash in that account, and that assumes a 1% interest rate.
If you're
So how's that for a strategy?
That's insane.
Right? But now you have the opportunity to make tremendous residual income without age restrictions or collecting a huge amount in savings. First, this is not dependent on the stock market at all, because as the stock market actually goes down, we tend to go up.
Right.
We've been going up for years. Oh my God, we're just like, right?
Blowing it out of the
We're blowing out of the water. So this is the power of the network. Residual and passive income comes from receiving a percentage of the monthly orders of everyone in your network through 5 levels and beyond. And by leveraging the power of the network, you benefit from everyone's efforts, not just your own. I mean, imagine the potential. How about the bonuses, the all-expense paid trips? Some people look at this and sound like, oh my God, this is just a little like hypey and commercially and all this stuff. No, this is like fact. That's what we're teaching you, facts. Okay?
Right.
That's what they are. They're not. I mean, I could not tell you these things, but then I'd be omitting information.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the facts. This is the way it works here. Look at these healthcare statistics. Healthcare industry, the annual revenue is $2.5 trillion.
Whoa.
Makes me sick. But I just updated this. This came from the
Whoa.
U.S. Census Bureau, the Centers for Disease Control, and the
Wow.
NIH. $2.5 trillion.
With a T.
Trillion. Yet money spent on alternative healthcare is $34 billion, and that's out of pocket because
Right.
insurance doesn't cover it, right?
Yeah,
so
it doesn't cover
people
that.
are still willing to pay out of pocket $34 billion.
Well, they have to.
38% of Americans have expanded their health spending beyond Western medicine and doctors. 38%. Over a third, right? And the
Yeah.
top 4 leading causes of death in the U.S. Are due to lifestyle factors and stress. People want, need, and are spending their money on effective and non-toxic wellness solutions.
Yes.
They're doing it already. So we thought about this. What if you were to take the wellness industry and put it together with network marketing like we just taught? Doesn't
Oh
it
my
just
God.
make sense? Like Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was largely responsible from getting us out of this huge financially depressive state that we were in because it changed my thinking. He wrote, the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work.
I love that
I
quote.
Right?
love that too.
Absolutely love that. So this is where Young Living comes in. Young Living, which is what I'm involved in. You guys are involved in this. It's a privately owned company established in 94. So what do we say? Strong, stable company.
Yes.
Consumable product that works. Has over 600 wellness products into 3 basic categories: essential oils, nutritional supplements, personal and home care products. We have our own makeup line, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
We have everything, right? The company concept is very simple: to provide the tools necessary to live a lifetime of wellness, purpose, and abundance. Gary Young was the founder of Young Living, and he spent over 35 years mastering farming, distillation, testing, all these different techniques that to make Young Living the world leader in essential oils. There is nobody that, everybody else is like 20 years behind
Yeah.
or more. Like,
Literally.
they don't even come close. He learned from masters all over the world because Gary said, I'm not just going to produce something that smells good, which is what you get other place. Like, I hear, and that's why there's such this essential oil explosion that's going on right now, but they're not really essential oils. We know that they're perfume grades,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
People are selling perfumes, calling them essential oils, and they're doing it just because they want to smell good. Listen, there's something about smelling good, but there's something way more about getting the real
Real benefits.
the real thing and real benefits from it. Young Living goes where the plants grow. We are not just brokers. This absolutely 100% sets us apart from every other company that exists.
Yeah.
We are not just brokers of oils. We have farms and distilleries all over the world.
We've been to the farms.
Yeah,
I'm at the
multiple
farms once or twice a year. I go to a different farm. They're all over. How do you feel at the farms, by the way?
You know that's my favorite
Oh my
place to be.
gosh.
It's my favorite place.
It really
You
is.
see everything. You see, Seed to Seal is not just promotion. It is actually what goes on there.
Yeah.
We've planted. You see everything that's there. You see the distillation. You see the way that they harvest. You interact with the people that work.
Well, and that's one of the things that
amazing.
It
to me.
is.
drew me to Young Living from the beginning, and I've been with Young Living a very long time. And the thing about it is the only open book company that exists.
Yeah.
Everyone else-
that alone.
Everyone else chats a lot about what they have.
Go ahead. I mean, I've told people that we're driving through Utah, stop.
Stop.
They're not members.
Yeah.
Just stop because it's gorgeous and it's amazing that
Yeah.
they welcome anybody on to the farm.
Yep.
Come in.
Anybody could see it for themselves, be part of the
Show
process.
me any other company that allows that.
Well, they don't have it. They don't have
They don't
anything
even
to
right.
show.
They
They don't have.
What are they going to show? Their office? Look,
That's
here's
exactly-
my computer where I moved. Like, what are they going to show? They're
Right.
they're brokers. They're
Right.
not. They have nothing to show for it. With Young Living, it starts with a seed. Gary said, if you don't know your seeds, you don't know your oils. If you don't know your soil, you don't know your oils. You don't
Yeah.
know what you have unless you are directly involved in the process. So not only was he directly in the process, but he has but he has all the people within the company and beyond be involved in the process. So everything from the planting to the harvesting to the distillation, the packaging, all that, right? And I always take for granted that all this stuff gets done in the background, and then all I do literally is go online and type in what I want, and it gets delivered to my
Yeah,
door.
you get the-
And then just
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, you have like, here, this. All I have to do is like go into the computer, right, and be like, oh, I want that, and it gets delivered to my door. It's not until you go to the farms you realize how much is behind this.
I was
Well, the
gonna say.
testing.
Well, that's
Each batch of oil
Yes.
is tested too, right?
Tested nine
the
times.
The machines. Let's talk about the machines that test the oil.
Yeah. What about
Right?
the story with the peppermint?
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Well,
share that.
that's a
now
great
we're all
story.
share that.
Yeah, well, I could tell you, we could go on and on and on about the testing of it because that's really important, like what you get tested. And nobody has the quality of testing that Young Living has, partly because they can't afford
For
it.
the machines.
They can't afford the machines. Young Living's the only one that has them. And when they send them out, even to labs, when Young Living sends it out for independent testing, this is very high grade testing that they do. And a lot of companies wouldn't want, Young Living rejects batches that other companies take and sell, which is scary.
That is
Because Young
scary.
Living rejects them for a multitude of reasons, including metals.
Heavy metals.
Heavy
Yeah.
metals that they found, and then they reject a batch from, say, one of their sources, one of their partner sources. They reject the batch, and you would think it would go in the garbage, but it doesn't. Other companies buy it.
Yeah.
Now you don't know
Scary.
you're getting this.
So scary.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting. It's really Young Living's been all over the news and constantly all over the news in a very positive light. You just go and to look them up. My God, they have a media section. If you go to Young Living's website, you could see all their articles and stuff that have been written about them. So why partner with Young Living? I can't say enough. They have a proven track record. They have the Seed to Seal process, which is like, you go to seedtoseal.com and you'll be able to see more about it. Reliable customer service and support, the most pure researched essential oils and wellness products on the planet, period.
Period.
No one else comes close. Everyone else is
True.
selling you a bunch of nonsense if they tell you otherwise.
It's a company you can. I know.
You trust.
I trust. I do trust.
Yeah.
Because I've been there and I see the product.
Yep,
I see it before it becomes the product. I've seen the raw material.
yep. And the market wants what Young Living has.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I mean, look at how much it's grown. When I first started with Young Living, nobody even heard of I never heard of essential oils. I didn't know what they were. Nobody ever heard of it before. So how would somebody start? Like, you're hearing this, you're saying, okay, this sounds great. Like, what do I have to do, right? There's no catch to this. So I'm going to tell you it's like really simple.
Yeah.
Right? So the
Simple.
first thing is you want to enroll as a wholesale member and sign up for Essential Rewards. So that's your startup and overhead costs, right? So we're talking about if you get a basic kit, it's $45. I don't know anyone who starts with that. You really should start with one of the premium starter kits.
Absolutely.
Which
It's
is the
about
best bang for your buck.
yeah, it's about $160. Best bang for your buck. That's the way you start. There's no question about it. So whoever sent you here, talk to them. They'll get you hooked up for it. If you came here because of me, you click the link in my bio, and you'll be able to go and be able to sign up for it. The next thing is the rewards program. This is your only overhead, really.
Yeah.
This is the only one by Young Living, your overhead. So You buy the product for you get points towards free products, you get flat rate and reduced shipping, and you're eligible for all commissions and bonuses. That's
Can
it.
we talk about this for a second? Because
Yeah.
I feel like people skip over it really quickly because they get nervous about a monthly bill. You actually get free stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you do get free
actually
stuff.
get free
Well,
stuff.
first of all, if you're in business and you're nervous about a monthly bill, you're not in business.
Well, no, because who pays
You're not.
$100
Like,
for rent? Who pays
really,
$100? I mean,
It's ridiculous. Yes. Yeah.
But there's
you should
like-
expect overhead. If you're in business, you should expect overhead. And if you have overhead that's $100 or $150 or quite frankly $500, you should be counting your blessings that it's only that.
only $100.
Yes.
But with that
Yes.
said, the point system actually works. It's not just, okay, you go to the supermarket and they scan it and you get maybe some little off. No, I just bought $300 worth of free oils, supplements,
Yep.
protein powder because I had it. I just had it sitting there.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
accumulates over time and you can use it.
I don't know anything that brings more value. I can tell you when I go to the supermarket and they have those little rewards card and I'm going and buying organic, spinach and they're shooting out like, here's a coupon for this really toxic laundry cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, what in the world would I ever do? It's a fake rewards program. Don't reward me for crap. I'm not going to use
I'll
it.
never buy
I'll
this.
never buy it. With this, it's like I'm rewarded with something that I would actually use, which I love. How about Living Fit Club?
Living Fit Club.
Love it, right? She's like, yes! So here, let's talk about Living Fit Club for a moment. This is an online portal with access to training and everything we're talking about. When we say you have training that goes along with everything, you have training that goes along with everything from nutrition to mindset coaching, fitness, Young Living products, Young Living business, all these presentations. We also want to throw in travel. What was the number one thing you said, what you would do?
Travel.
Travel, right?
Travel,
If
yeah.
money were no object, what would you do? The number one thing is travel.
Travel.
But we also believe that travel is healthy because you need to clear your head, you need to get more creative, you need to live your life, right? So we put in a travel portal for you in there. Recipes, mentorship, learn about finance. We have experts in events. We have wealth building. All of that is built into Living Fit Club. I believe that every single person needs to be in Living Fit Club. Not just because it's mine. I created it for that reason. It's what I've done for over 20 years, and I believe that everybody should be part of that. So let's say we include that in your startup. Let's put everything together that we believe is a great startup, okay? So you get your premium starter kit, not the basic one, the premium one.
Yeah.
Premium service.
Yeah.
And a desk reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what you're doing.
Yes.
Right? How to
Yeah.
use the product.
A guide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? How about Gary Young's book so you learn all about your company? Because if you don't know
Yeah,
about what you're
exactly.
working with, right?
Yeah.
We want you on solid ground. We want you to have that foundation. So you start with that. How about your Living Fit Club membership?
Yeah.
And how about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is a classic. And if you guys aren't using that, I'm not really sure you're in business either, right?
Yes.
So you should be doing that.
True.
You know that if you put all of those things together as a startup, it's less than $350.
Wow.
Right. Show me a business that.
Show me
That's
business.
insane.
Right? Now, here we go. What do you get with your recurring monthly overhead? The product, that's the one from Young Living. We talked about the 100. If you do Living Fit Club, you're going to get business training, financial education, product education, mindset coaching, health programs, professional workouts, access to travel, experts in events, mindset coach, all that stuff is in there. We have said mindset. I say mindset coaching a lot because that's how important it is, right?
But it's
So
not
you get all that in
static.
there.
It doesn't stay still. You're constantly adding new content.
There's always new
It's
things.
Right.
always new, so it's not
But
just.
imagine this: you're building a
10 videos.
business, and then you have a whole platform to educate not just you, but now you have people that come along. We said there's going to be those handful of people that say, "Yeah, I really want to do this too," or "I really want to get well," and then they get thrown in. You put them into there also.
You plug them into.
You plug them into a system.
Yep.
You just keep plugging them into a system. Second thing, get trained. Like we said, in the member portal for Living Fit Club, it's in there. But there's others. How about GoPro? How about 4-year career? Think and Grow Rich. Get to events, industry training. You get trained. There's no
Yeah.
lack of training.
There's no
That's
lack
the
of
point. There's no lack of training
You're
that's
not
in
gonna
there.
not know what to do.
What's the importance of training? Do you know if you were going to go be the dish cleaner at McDonald's, you don't think you get training?
Right.
There's training for
There's
Everything.
training for everything. It shocks me that people go into business and don't want to be in training
Well, I think
or
there's
invest in it.
and this is the problem when people don't take it seriously because maybe somebody's told them it's a get rich quick. It's work. It's work. You have to put in the time and it comes back to you. But that's the difference. People have that idea of, okay, and this is what they also said at the convention. This is why you hear about a lot of people that come in and out of network marketing. It's easy in, so it's easy to get out. But if you put that time in and you put the education, the personal development in,
Right.
the growth is
It's there.
It's there. I mean, you
It will happen.
We talk, that's why you also see people jump from company to company to company because everyone thinks, oh, this is going to be the company I get rich in. No, this is going to be the company I get rich in. No,
you know what they
it's
say?
you. It's
It's
you.
The
It's
grass grows where you water it.
you. That is a fact.
Okay,
That
that's
is
it.
Well, you know what the other thing is that, which I don't know if we touched upon it or not, we have communities here where it's easier, in my opinion, easier to grow. We have Tri-Harmony, which is our team that we're talking about. We
Yeah.
have Living Fit Club. These are just communities of people that are there to support you in business. You're not doing it alone.
You're not doing it alone. Oh, that's the benefit.
You're a business
too.
for
Like you
yourself
said,
and not by yourself.
Not by yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have this whole network of people that are there willing to help. So the third step is start working your 2 to 5 year plan. Now, some people say 2 to 5 years. Why so long? And I'm thinking, wow, you're very young. Because
Because it's not
anyone older.
Again, I don't.
Right.
I think that's a misconceived
2 to 5 years
notion.
goes like that, but time is passing anyway. That's our point. Time is passing anyway. And what are you doing today that will positively and drastically change your financial health in 2 to 5 years from now?
Right.
What are you doing? Time's going to pass anyway. You have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just start and go through the process? Doesn't that make sense? Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, name your person, I don't really care, right? They have all the same amount of time as you and me. What is their secret? What are they doing? They're turning that 8-hour workday into an 80-hour workday because they're using the power of leverage. They're not going it alone, right? They're putting it together in a network of people, and that's where everybody wins. There's only so many hours that you could personally work, and that puts a cap on your income potential. But if you had 10 people working at the same time, or 10,000 people working at the same time. I mean, think about that. And for some people who are like, that's crazy to think of a network that way. I have 15,000 people in my network.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, did I imagine 15,000 people when I started out as a network of one? No. No. But now, at 15,000, I can imagine a network of 15 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can start to see how it opens up. But you want to use the power of leverage. And how you get coconut money. Coconut money is that money you get when you're like on vacation and you're getting paid anyway, which is great. It's through simple, achievable goals. And in Young Living, there's a rank we say, become a star, right? And you become a star, you help 4 people, start in. Also, your kit is free. You have an organizational volume of 500, and you'd be surprised at how quickly it grows up the ranks just by teaching people simple, achievable steps.
Yeah.
Simple, achievable steps all along the way. Right? You get to choose your income. I know this is something that Christina's always been excited about. She's like, yes, because really, there's some people that are like, you know what? I don't want to do the 50 grand a month. I'm not interested in the 100 grand a month. Some people, believe it or not, they're like that, right? They're okay saying, I wanted to pay for my product right now. Or I could do with a couple of $1,000 a month and that would make me feel better. So, it doesn't matter to us. Restart, right?
Like,
I was one of those people.
Yes, you were. Yes.
I was. Well, actually, I was the person who said, I'm not going to do it. And then decided, okay, I'll pay for my product. And then, it's okay to also take it in, baby.
Oh, baby. He's like, don't take me,
I'm gonna sit right
baby.
here.
He's like, don't take me out of here. I want to be here with everybody.
It's okay to take it in baby steps. Maybe you can't bite off that big chunk and think that big and say, I'm going to be a crown diamond.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was me.
Yep.
And I still have to think on a smaller scale because, in all honesty, I'm scared
With
of the
these.
growth. Yes, with these. And I attract these business builders that I want with these. But there's a fear that comes, it's ingrained in me that I'm trying to break through so that I get more comfortable with that growth. So
Does it help you in Living Fit Club doing all the mindset work?
yeah.
Listen, Living Fit Club does a mind clarity that I can't. There's nothing else out there. So it definitely has to do with the nutrition for me, that I get that clarity, and then having the mentorship program to fall back on. So if you fall off track, and this is with anything, this is what I love about Living Fit. It's mind, body, spirit. I feel like it's the
Right. Now imagine
It
all
is
these
everything.
people who are struggling in their businesses, right? They're
Okay.
struggling in it, and they don't even know they come into something like Living Fit Club that's going to help them do what you just said,
okay.
right? Now imagine they did get plugged into it. all these people that have been hitting these barriers all along now being able to say, okay, wait a second, it was me. Oh, it's me. Now I can be able to work through it. And that's the point, right? To be able to do that. Now, I want you to look at Young Living's income disclosure statement. When, for those of you who are on IG stories, I know you can't see this, but if you go to youngliving.com/IDS, you'll be able to see the same income disclosure statement, and we recommend that you do. What I say to people is you may not know what you want, right? Maybe smaller. So, but if you go to the income disclosure statement, which is the actual numbers of Young Living, right? Excuse me. If you go there and you look at either I tend to go by the median monthly income. You go by the average or the annual income. It doesn't matter.
This has been updated, by the way.
Okay, so if you go here and you look at it, pick which one you want per month. What do you want your income to be? Right? And then start building towards that. And we show you how to do that, of course, right, in a system. But just you have to start somewhere, right? What's the catch, by the way? There's no catch, but you have to understand a couple things. That more work, less pay in the beginning leads to more pay. I mean, what did I say? More work, less pay. I get confused. In the beginning leads to more pay, less work in the end.
Yep.
You must be willing to trade some TV, computer, internet, recreational time to build your dreams. I had someone tell me one time that he wasn't able to do this. He couldn't find any time, which I always find interesting because he's not married and has no kids. So I'm like so curious about things like that. So I was like, okay, so you have no time. So like, just walk me through a day. And at some point, and in a different part of the conversation, I found out that he was looking at the computer, like, what do you call it? Like scrolling for 5 hours.
That's insane.
5 hours.
Look, we're all guilty of that, but you have to now prioritize what's important to you.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And you must be willing to trade some. If you can't find time, you have to be willing to trade some time somewhere just for your side hustle, right? Get up earlier even. So trade whatever it is.
Exactly right.
And you must want more than just trading your time for dollars. There has to be a motivation to want more than that out of your life or for your kid's life or whatever. So here's the secret. Here's the $1 million success secret, right? Which is no secret. Just do it. Just do it and don't give up. You have to start somewhere, right? Young Living is an exceptional business. It's the perfect time. There's outstanding support, and it's your moment to join a global community of people already living their dreams. How many people say, like, oh, you can't do this, or you're surrounded by people. It's like your best friends, cousins, dogs, like, no, I know all about this. Really? Like, really? So I tell people, like, don't you want to be advised by successful people? You want to be advised by successful people. So don't let people who are not doing it tell you it's not possible. It's already being done.
Yep.
I mean, that's just like pure ignorance,
Yep.
right? It's already being done. We want you to be part of the success stories. Look at this growth. Look at this growth just with Young Living. They're going to go over $2 billion this year. Look at this growth. I mean, when you see that it just is upward, right? I mean, it is like unbelievable. It's like when people say, "Well, what about that ship that's like passing up by?" Here's the ship.
Yes.
Here's the ship. Don't say nobody told you. I'm telling you. Here's the ship.
I mean, how many network marketing companies are 2 billion?
No, we're number 14 in the world, I believe. I think 14. Yeah, 14 or 15. We're like
Up there.
We're in the world as a company. A lot of times when people hit the billion, companies hit a billion. Any company hits a billion mark. They tend to slip. And Living has never slipped. You know that? It just keeps going and go. This kind of growth in a company is almost unprecedented.
It's unheard of. Yeah.
It's almost unprecedented.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is amazing. There's a place for everyone in Young Living. Even after you heard this, listen, we want you to come out of the sidelines and get in the arena with us. We want you to jump in. We want you to lead with us. Get part of the game here. We want that. But it's not for everybody. We understand that. Maybe you're happy and content where you are. Then just become a product user. Well, right? Just become a great product user here. We have the best product, or connect us with people. You must know someone who could benefit from this information. Connect us with those people. Let us help them.
Yeah.
Right? But don't keep it to yourself. When you know something really good, you don't keep it to yourself.
No, you share.
You share it.
absolutely.
You gotta
love
share
something,
it.
don't you tell? And this is anything.
Yes.
You love something. I bought this T-shirt. I love it. I'm going to tell you where I got it because I want you to get it. It feels
You have
amazing.
no problem doing that.
Why do you feel guilty about
Listen,
it? I
people
saw
have no
this
problem
movie.
running their mouths all day long. They could at least do something positive.
But again, I saw a movie. I liked it. I tell you, do I get a commission for that? No. There's no, and it's not even for the commission. But at the end of the day, I would much rather give my friend a commission than some big corporation.
Listen, I need all my friends to get to the level that we are growing at because it's really lonely during the day. Everybody's at work. We want to do stuff. We want to go on vacation. We want to do whatever. And, you know, there's not a lot of people our age doing it.
No.
Or that even think they could do it. Anyway, so who's Young Living for? Literally, like, I don't know, everyone. So who we got?
From that
Young
side?
families, 20s, 30s, and 40s, right, who want a lifetime of wellness and abundance, people who need extra money in their retirement, parents who want to leave a legacy to their kids or want to empower their children in their wellness and financial health. We teach our kids financial health now. Why wouldn't we?
Right.
Right?
Well, school's definitely not teaching it.
School's
So
not,
yeah,
no.
So you definitely have to. It's a discussion in the house.
It has to be. It has to be. And if you don't know it yourself, how are you teaching it to your kids?
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
People looking for wellness and vitality. People looking for a community of like-minded individuals. You know, we have a lot of people that join us just because they feel like, you know, aliens and they need to have a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Those who have lost their jobs and don't want to be dependent on other people, including a new boss, for their financial health. People looking to replace their income or increase their wealth. Right? Did I get that? Yes. So let's simplify it because we just did a lot of like girl chatty, right?
Yeah.
We did a lot of that. Let's simplify it. You become a wholesale member. You qualify for everything, including all residuals and bonuses when you make that 100 PV order in the rewards program. We believe that you should be in Living Fit Club as an extra training. I just think it would make your life like a bazillion times easier, and it would enhance your quality of life to learn about it, but that would be another step in there. Teach others to do the same. Number 3. Number 4, support your customers. People are going to come along. They're going to be great product users. Support them. Educate them. All that. Does that sound simple enough to do that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Repeat. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. You are worth it. It's your time to start building your dreams. We absolutely have a better way. If you can't see it after this, then I'm going to say do a lot of work, like internal work.
Yeah.
There, because I think that's for me, and I'm going to make it my own, that for me, it was a self-worth issue, which I discovered. It was a self-worth issue. Like when you get to a place and you start building up, you start to wonder, like, am I even worth that? Even though I could say it in my head, it's like, do I really feel it? Do I really feel that worth and value? So for me, that's what it was. So like I'm saying, if you guys are having some issues even after hearing this, if you're like, yeah, but, I'm telling you, go to that place inside, really. Do you believe you're worthy of success? I did not believe that.
Yeah.
I could say it in my head, but I
Right.
did not believe it. I had to do the work for that, right? So, you
I think
know,
most people
do you
have to
believe
do
you're
work.
worthy of success? Are you willing to pursue and live your dreams? And are you willing to not let your dreams die? Let this business provide your path to prosperity. It does. It's a vehicle to get there. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's a stepping stone. Well, for some people, it's an end-all, be-all. That's
Yeah.
fine. For me, I'm too, I don't know.
You have a bigger vision.
I
You
just
have a
keep
bigger
going.
vision.
Absolutely.
And that's okay because you can fold this in. It's not like you have to give up. If you're doing something that you love, like I really love what I do.
Me
and
too.
so I think that I'll do that forever. But it doesn't mean that I have to trade that in for Young Living. I fold everything in, right? It's all
Yeah.
about the end, fitting things together and not the or, not making decisions. I have to do this or this, right? So, or be a mom. Like I can do it all. And I think that's part of like the mindset coaching.
Well, in our mindset coaching, as you know, it's
This
an
is what
and
we-
life. It's not an or
Yes,
life.
This
it's
is
an
what we
and
learn.
life.
This is
Yes.
what we
And
train
life.
Yes.
as part of
Yes.
Living Fit
Yeah.
Club. This is how we train our minds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to train your mind because too
It's
many
not one at
people
all.
are trained to live that or life, right? Do
Yeah.
this, or like when they think about money, you either have that luxurious car or you're giving to charity. You know, I mean, that's how
Right.
people who are broke think. That's how, when I was broke, that's how I thought.
Sure.
I thought people who have all this like luxury stuff, they must not be giving enough money away to anyone else, and that was not how it works.
I mean,
at all.
ask a little kid what they would like to do when they grow up. What
right?
would you like to do? I never say be because you're always going to be yourself.
Right.
What would you like to do? They have a laundry list of things that they want to do.
That they totally believe in too,
That they
and they
can
know they
do.
can, that
Right.
they could do. So anyway, thank you guys for jumping on with us today. If you have any more questions, of course, reach out to each of us, whoever's live you are on, reach out to us independently. We'd be happy to answer. If you're ready to get started, jump right in. Go to the whoever sent you to watch this, go back to them or introduce you to Young Living and the concept, please go back to them. If you found me or any one of us, randomly just go to the link in our bios and you'll be able to click on that and join right in with us, and we appreciate you getting on. So thank you guys for being
so
here.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, we're happy to answer
Appreciate it.
any questions.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I could